this is segment 4. I'm either going to do this in 7 segments, or I'm not really quite sure because I have a lot to do. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow, but I do want to open with a clip of a song by a band called Brand New. The song's called Jesus Christ, and I like it because one of the lyrics is, if they don't put me away, it'll be a miracle, which is what I'm picking up with. And the lyrics also question what it was Jesus did on the 3 days he was dead. And it's one of the first times I've ever heard anybody say, I wonder what he was doing on the 3 days. I mean, was he dead? Was he alive? Was he being healed? Were there angels with him? What happened, and why was it 3 days, and why this and that? So check this out. I like this song.
If they don't put me away, oh, it'll be a miracle. Do you believe you're missing out? Everything good is happening somewhere else, but with nobody in your bed, the night's hard to get through, and I will die all alone. And when I arrive, I won't know anyone. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm alone again. So what did you do those 3 days you were dead? 'Cause this problem's gonna last more than the weekend. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm not scared to die. I'm a little bit scared.
It's a really, really, really beautiful song lyrically. Pretty simple, you know, bass line and all that. But anyway, moving on. Okay, so my amazing miracle happened to me on December 26th. I was really sick with ovary problems and had all these issues. I couldn't go home for Christmas. My parents mailed out my Christmas box to my friend's home. I opened my gifts. My friend Doug took me home. I believe he left for the night. He had to have for Christmas. I think he was with his brother or a friend or something like that. And something happened. Something happened. I was going to take a bath. And the 26th through the 30th is all kind of blurry. I remember some things really vividly and some things not at all. I was dipping my toe into the bathtub and I thought I heard a knock at my door. And sometimes I remember it as me being at my computer or me being in the bath. It's really kind of a little bit gray there. And I lived in a secured building, so I'm thinking, oh, it must be Holly or somebody. And so I opened up this big, huge-ass cherrywood door. I lived in the Marlboro building. It was in the Browns Edition. These really old, beautiful buildings with hardwood floors, French doors, all that. And I open the door and I don't see anything, and I peek my head out and I'm like, hello? And I go to shut the door, and just as I'm about to, the door's gonna connect, I feel this push on my chest. Boom! Up against the wall. Bam! Down on the floor. And I was just like, what the hell? I was like, oh my god. And I was freaked out. Had goosebumps, hair sticking up all over. I mean, and I bend down and get back on my knees, and as I stand up, I can feel the presence of Jesus Christ in the middle of my living room. I did not see him, and a lot of people who have never connected in this kind of way can't really fathom it. The medical health profession will always, till the end of time, call it delusions, hallucinations, any goals that you want to accomplish or dreams that you have, or grandiosity. You're sick, you're ill, you're mentally ill, you're indigent, you're weak, you're nobody likes to cop to a bipolar frickin' diagnosis because of the implications of everything. You know, just going into the hospital that one time, even though I had never done anything wrong, I did never have to go to court or anything, but subsequent hospitalizations would result in me losing my rights to bear arms. And people can argue back and forth as to why that is, and I know why it is. You know, oh, that person has a aptitude or propensity to you know, be a loose cannon, maybe going to shoot themselves with their gun, because most of the people that end up in these hospitals are suicidal. And I'm not the suicidal blonde this time. I mean, I never had ever had any thoughts of killing myself, and so that's where all of this is going, is that I was there with Jesus, and he says 10 words to me. I'm sorry to bother you, but I need your help. 10 words. Now, what would you do if you thought that you knew just, I mean, as sure as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, that you're dealing with Jesus Christ, and you're a believer of Christ, and you hear his voice and he says, I'm sorry to bother you, but I need your help. What are the first things that are going to go through your mind? I mean, now that it's already, I mean, you know, I don't mean to like pre-blow your mind in the event that this happens to you, but he's going to start knocking on people's doors. And some people think that they understand what that means. You know? How the hell would I ever know if Jesus Christ is knocking at my door? I mean, you know? Well, he sends angels. He sends people who've been stranded, who need help. You know? Jesus comes in many forms. Jesus is, you know, sitting over in the Middle East, woo, looming over everybody. And Jesus is also in the dumpster down the street, you know, with the guy digging out his next meal. I knew who it was. I knew the power. I recognized the voice because my whole life I had felt a connection. And that connection came together. And it was electric. It was beyond manic. It was beyond anything that anybody could have ever thought would happen. And it's one of the most exciting parts of the story, because I am going to write the book and I am going to do my own little projects with this later down the road when God says, you know what, just do it, Angela. Open your mouth and speak the words that you've been holding for so very long. Anyway, I'm freaking, man. I'm on my knees just like, oh my God, you know, just oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I can feel this force come up under my arms. And I just kind of, whoop, get up off the floor. And I know where to look visually to find where he is. I can feel this. More solid than I can feel this table right here. I could feel him. And he said, is there anything in here that you want to keep, or can I have it all? I mean, first of all, I'm thinking, my Lord and Savior is asking me. He's saying he's sorry. He's saying he's sorry for needing my help. I mean, oh my God, why would he ever? I mean, you know, I always thought that Jesus would just kind of command around and, whoo, boy, I'm telling you, it was wild. And I just hope that a lot of the world experiences him in the capacity that I have in the last 8 years, because there's just no way that if people walked around doing what I was doing every day, what I do every day, that this world would be a horrible place. It just is inconceivable. If there was as much love in the world as I have in my heart for the entire population of people that are not worthy of me, just as people are not worthy of him, this world would be a better place. So anyway, I lit up. I was like, you can have it all. And he goes, okay. So I start to kind of follow him around, and I can tell that he's looking at things and figuring out what he's going to do, kind of measuring how high the ceiling is, just really checking it out. And he goes, okay. He goes, you know, in the Bible, Angela, when John, he called him Jonathan, when John talked about, I saw one earth and it faded away and then there was another and all this, I'm like, yeah. And he's like, have you read a lot of his scriptures? I'm like, not as much as I probably should. And he's like, well, let's start with the book of Revelation. I said, okay. So basically what ended up happening was, for the next 3 to 4 to 5 days, well, I'll just cliffhang you. In the next segment, I'll tell you exactly what it is that Jesus Christ did with me and all my stuff. Alright, thanks for watching, and remember, wherever you go, there you are. That's 2 angels. You can't really see it all that well.